if you're still getting hyped up for these events, it's like you're falling for it. Like you're really falling for it. Like you have no one to blame but yourself. Fool me once, shame on me.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
But
yeah, I mean, we see that like big special guest coming, and then even with here comes Kojima, and then oh boy, here comes the new game. Psych, it's a podcast. Like
That's right. Don't blame yourself. Blame me.
Hey, I'm Fingers.
Yo, it's Apache Smash.
hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency.
Why has Kojima become like, do you know, like Solid Snake? He doesn't get a game, he just gets put in other games.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, here's Solid Snake. That's Kojima now.
New Kojima experience coming to Spotify. Fuck.
Last time we saw him, it was fucking. He came out with, imagine a game. What would a game be like if I made one for Xbox and said nothing about it and then fucked off?
And everybody's
then-
like, yeah.
And then this time he shows up with a fucking. To be fair to the podcast, it's in English, and he's done podcasts before that aren't in English, right? So, like,
Yeah.
at least, you know, a lot of people can listen to it this time around, which is good.
Also, pro tip, if you don't pay for Spotify like I don't, you can also use Google Podcasts. I don't know the security implications of that, but I don't want to pay for Spotify, so there you go.
I think it is on the free level. I saw someone saying that too, but
I still don't want to support Spotify,
Me
but that's
neither.
a whole nother discussion.
yeah, fuck Spotify.
I don't know why I'm so cheap, but like I have everything. I have like Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, all of them, Spotify, fucking Deezer, all of them. I don't pay for any of them. I'm just like, hey, has anyone got a login for this? So I'm just on everyone else's. The only one I have is Amazon Prime.
It's weird too. Like I think it was man, I wish I know Nitro had retweeted this too, but that clip with Matt Damon that he was talking about how like streaming and all that has like really affected like the theater experience and just kind of
Yes.
fucked up the whole economy of it all. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, and they said piracy was going to do this. I was like, well,
I liked his argument about, you know, we had this expectation with the DVD market
Yeah.
that it would make up for theatrical films not really making their, you know, getting a profit return.
mhm.
And while I was thinking about that, I was kind of thinking like allegorically, like, you know, as video games, you know, we're having an issue not being able to fully support like the old AA titles that we used to get back in the PlayStation 2 and 360 days.
Yeah, Nitro was saying, I think like Steam basically did this same thing to video games that, you know, like with all the sales and stuff and just, you know, and I guess with Game Pass too, that's kind of just an extension of it of just like, but Game Pass is doing something with the companies where they're getting reimbursed per the amount of downloads that actually happen. Like there is some kind of system in there, but
Right. I assume in those situations, they have done the math, or at least the paid accountants I'm trusting did the math right. And they determined that, hey, you know, the licensing agreement or whatever that we get from Microsoft will exceed whatever pricing or cost that we get just kind of running this independently.
mhm.
And that's okay.
Yeah, so we got to find like a weird balance with this stuff. Like I was surprised to learn this year that like actors and like I guess studios don't get reimbursed for like royalties off of streaming. And it's like, wait, what? Like, you know, just the amount of views have nothing to do with it. It's just a one and done purchase, I guess, for a license for an amount of time, and then just whatever it does, it's like, well, that's what you signed up for, so there's no residuals coming after that. Whereas, you know, TV actors, that's, you know, syndication and all that side of things. You're constantly getting checks coming in. It might be for a couple cents, but they're coming in.
Well, so you're telling me like Joey from Friends like wakes up every Friday and checks his post and gets a big fat check because
Yeah.
so many people watch Friends.
Yeah, because it's on TV still, and that's what like syndication is. It's like rerunning it, you know, a whole nother time, and you know, running the whole series or a couple seasons, and they buy that to rotate for a little bit, and yeah, then they get a little, you know, portion of that. But yeah, not with streaming.
I think voice actors in games should get paid for every time the cutscenes are played.
On Twitch, on YouTube.
Yeah. So
That reminds me of that clip on the Pookie episode of The Simpsons when they're speaking to the lady who voiced like the Roadrunner bird.
Oh
And
yeah.
they're like, you must get so much money. Homer's like, you must get so much money for that. And she's like, no, I just recorded one Meep Meep and they used the same one.
Yeah.
They've used the same one for 40 years.
Yep. I just doubled it.
yeah, they just doubled it.
Yeah, it's we're in a weird time with all of this stuff with games and media just being kind of, I don't want to say devalued, but I mean I guess that is kind of what's going on. I mean, but they're pulling in like a lot of money in certain areas. Like you look at like certain mobile games where they're just raking it in.
Can I just call it right now that we all saw the Dune MMO, right? And we were like, well, I was like, wait, a MMO? The fuck? Why are they making an MMO? Dune. I can't even speak. Dune. That's gonna flop. I'm calling it right now. That's gonna die in like 2 weeks. It'll come out and it'll immediately die. Why are people making MMOs? You must be crazy. The only people who are gonna pull off making an MMO are the League of Legends people. What are they called?
Right?
Riot can do what they want. Like at this point, they've got such a good track record of making free-to-play games that work and have millions and millions of players. They've got a League that's highly successful. Valorant's theirs as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They've got that fighting game coming out. They've got the it's League of Legends, but it's not. It's I can't remember what it's called. It's like a fucking card game or something. People play it all the time.
Legends of Runeterra, is that it?
That Legends of Runeterra, and then even Teamfight Tactics, which is like an extra game inside of League of Legends, has like millions of players that only play that. So they have all these successful games. Their trailer for the Riot MMO, it's got like millions and millions of views. It's got it's got like 50 to 100 million views. The new trailer for World of Warcraft has like 2 million views.
Yeah.
So it's going to. It's my predictions for the future. Feel free to look back on this in when it all goes down. The Dune MMO will fail, and the League of Legends MMO will be the biggest MMO in the world.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
That's probably right.
We'll still probably be on Final Fantasy.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looks like they are, they're doing like hiring right now for this MMO. They're still looking for, game art, production, engineering, design and stuff. So yeah, it's coming. And yeah, you're probably right. Like whatever they put out now, they've kind of hit that level of like being like such a powerhouse and has so many people playing their stuff that once that game starts getting like advertised in the other games, like check out the new MMO, like when you launch the launcher or whatever, it'll be plastered everywhere. So that'll yank everybody in.
Yeah, it'll be unavoidable. And like overall, regardless what you think, like I don't play League of Legends. I don't play any of Riot's games. And I know that the player base, when you play online and communicate with them, it can be pretty toxic. But at the same time, overall, the player base of those games are extremely fucking happy.
Yeah.
The game's free. You can't buy.
You sure
power.
about that? Have you talked to a League of Legends fan lately?
You know what I mean, though. Like, I know. I always joke about like playing. I say I'm going to play League of Legends because I'm going to start speedrunning depression. Like, how fast can I get like a mental health problem? But like, no. People love Riot Games, and they can invest millions and millions into building an MMO. I can't remember who's doing the Dune MMO, but they probably don't have enough money to do it. Just stop making MMOs. Everyone stop making MMOs. You can't do it. I was gonna say, look at the MMO graveyard. The MMO graveyard, it has so many titles there. I'm not gonna start naming them, but there's so many.
I'm glad you brought up the MMO graveyard because I just distinctly remember that period of time where like there was always folks trying to advertise the WoW killer, and they all dealt with like two big things that I noticed, and this pattern could happen with Dune, like you said. One is they didn't have the resources to build. Okay, it's a situation where it's like this: you build up this new world. And you have resources, but they're pretty limited. And, you start off with sort of like the first iteration of your MMO, right? However, your competition already has their player base who already has this sort of like sunk cost fallacy in which, you know, they assess the new MMO and they think to themselves, okay, well, you know, do I want to get into, unless it's really, really good, generally our reaction as MMO players are, is it really worth disregarding all this progress I've made in this MMO, get new guild, get new friends? Is it really worth, you know, whatever this game is? And more often than not, it's a no. So
it's funny too that they always try it with like such a huge like IP. Like that's a huge part of it too. Like, you know, like we've seen the Matrix try to do it, and you know, that did it for a while, but then Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, of course, you know, you got a ton of Warcraft fans that are already there. So yeah, it's like if you take, that's what I'm saying. What's interesting with like the Dune, like I know Dune has a huge following and there's a ton of lore there to build off of to give to, you know, towards a game. And, you know, Star Wars is another example where like that they're still releasing fucking content for like the Old Republic, but
Dune's certainly got the world for it. Like,
yeah,
you know, the 100%. And I think like if you were going to choose an IP to make an MMO off, I think Dune is a great one. But I mean, Warhammer couldn't pull this off. Like Warhammer failed spectacularly to make an MMO.
That's what I'm saying. You have these powerhouse IPs still failing, and it's just like, wow, okay, it's just this MMO thing's tricky.
If I could predict even further, I'll say that they've announced it way too early. By the time it comes out, they'll have missed their own hype train, and they'll release it before it's in the state where it needs to be finished. And MMOs do this all the fucking time, man. All the time.
Yes, that's a good detail.
It'll be buggy as shit, and everybody just goes, fuck this. And yeah.
It's like, as soon as you bring that game out and people play it, you got 5 minutes to impress them. That's it. You got 5 minutes, man.
If I have to kill 5 basic animals around here, I'm gonna be pissed as shit.
You have 5 minutes to prove to those people that your experience is worth them giving up years of progress that they've made in another game.
Yeah. And subscribing to it too. That's a huge thing for me. It's like when something's asking for a monthly thing, I'm like, all right, whoa. I'm already playing for Gamefly over here. What else am I doing? And that's the thing. Like if you have a subscription going, it's like this ticking thing. It's like, hey, you got to play this game now. And you know, if that game's not fun or not good, you're just like, and this isn't worth the money. You know, the repeated money.
Yeah, it's tough, and I'm not even sure what they'll do with subscription. I don't think monthly subscriptions really work anymore. I think that model's going to slowly die out.
Yeah.
I mean, New World from Amazon, that had like 1 million players on launch or something, and died instantly.
Yeah, the free-to-play model's definitely going to creep into that more for sure.
The Battle Pass model.
Yeah, Battle Pass model, yeah. It's...
The Battle Pass and Cash Shop.
I want that game to work, right? I love Dune. I really do. I want that game to be good. It's just I've seen it so many times at this point. So many times. So many great games. So many games I've been excited for. You know, I had the Old Republic on release. I had Rift on release.
I did WildStar.
Oh, WildStar, yeah.
I did Final Fantasy 1.0. 14 1.0.
I did not, but
not long enough to get like the same account to get the little 1.0 tattoo.
Did you play 11?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't play that.
I had a buddy that every time I logged into an Xbox 360, it always said that he was online and he was playing that game, and he just left his Xbox on and like never turned it off. It was like that for years. Like
I saw someone play it, and there was like 9 people, and they were on this beach, and the graphics looked terrible, and they were all stood around this gigantic bug, and it looked like shit.
Yeah.
And they were all like hitting it with the sword. They had like the most basic attacks. And
yes,
then they
and
killed
they're just standing there.
Yeah, and then they killed it, and I was like, whoa, this looks like the worst game ever. And
I need to show you. Hold on, let me show you what 1.0 looked like, because if you love that gameplay. Oh my god.
Hey, what'd I miss?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Nitroid?
Welcome in, Nitroid. We were talking about the Dune MMO.
Yeah.
But like, I love old MMOs. I just didn't like the look of that.
Old MMOs were a different breed.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
I am good. I've just had a wild day, but I am here now. Mostly.
I think we're all pretty pooped in the last like 24 hours.
Yeah. And past
Yeah.
week or two, we've all had little adventures.
Yeah, pretty much. You were on a boat.
Yes, I was. That was fun.
Yes, I got to watch Mango angrily get his rank back into top 10 at SmashCon, so that was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
I went to the lakes for 4 days and drank so much alcohol. It was for my friend's 30th birthday, and I went on a boat. I drove a boat for the first time. That was really cool.
Nice.
And then I went to what are they called? I went to a roller coaster park. Like, what was it, yesterday or the day before? Because
Theme
everyone
park,
knows that's
amusement park.
yeah, everyone knows that's my new obsession now. I tell you, right, if you go to Cedar Point for your first park where you love roller coasters, every other park is going to be difficult for you afterwards.
Yeah, you get spoiled. It's like,
Yeah, don't start with the best, man. Build up to it. Build up to going to Cedar Point.
Yeah, I went on a boat and my friends DJ'd and we drank beers and floated down the canal and that was kind of cool. And yeah, a couple people drove the boat and gave us all a scare, so that was fun. But yeah.
I hiked up a mountain.
Yeah, you were hiking up somewhere in like Silent Hill territory, right? Because I had to ask you, I was like,
Yeah.
Hey, is this like Silent Hill?
Yeah, the Smoky Mountains,
Yeah.
and they are very aptly named, let me tell you, just because of all of the fog from how high up everything is.
Hey, is this like Silent Hill?
We made it up to the tallest point in the Smokies, and the oxygen starts to thin real quick.
I mean, it got you thinking conspiracy theories with fucking.
Yeah, like I had a moment where I was like, maybe they are working on Silent Hill. That's what oxygen deprivation will do to you. No, it was a good time. Yeah, I highly recommend going to the Smoky Mountains, finding a hiking path or going on one of the driving trails. Plus Dollywood's nearby, and that's always fun.
We all went outside. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I know.
That's what we've been up to.
We touched grass. Good job, everybody.
Dude, touching grass though, so overrated.
Yeah, I won't be doing it again.
I touched grass at almost 7,000 feet above sea level. It was all right.
I give it like a 5 out of 10. Yeah.
I prefer my house.
I just technically touched water, I think, or I guess just a boat. Shit. I don't think I technically touched grass, guys.
So, Nitroid, in case folks missed it in our burst transmission, I want you to break down that Defcon levels of Kojima that we get at Geoff Keighley events, because I thought that was really good.
You contributed to it though. You added an extra step, so I'm gonna try and get all of them. I think we came up with what, 6 total?
I think it was 6 with a 3.5 thrown in with the there was kind of like an addendum that I threw in too. So I don't know if we want to just call it 7, but yeah, it was about 6.
I'll try and hit the Kojima Defcon levels here. So what is it? Defcon goes in reverse, right? So like the higher the number, the less severe it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right?
At least that's also how it is in IT as well. Like a Sev incident.
So we're gonna say Kojima Defcon 5 is there is a video game event and no mention of him. He doesn't show up. Geoff Keighley doesn't talk about him. Nothing. Kojima Defcon 6, as we'll call this. Did I say 5 or 6? We're gonna call it 6.
He started at 5.
We're gonna make it 6.
Okay.
Is a rarity because Geoff can't help himself. He will always mention him. Which brings us to Kojima Defcon 5.
Can't help himself.
Where Geoff will mention Kojima.
Yeah.
Kojima won't show up, but he will be in our hearts.
Give him a shout out.
Moving up to Kojima Defcon 4.
The most, hold on, I want to note that the most famous Defcon 5 was when he was like, Konami wouldn't let him come.
Yes. That was an honorary Defcon 4.
Honorary. All right, I'm sorry.
I still can't believe he did that. No, it's good. Okay, so Kojima Defcon 4 is he has a video and says, "Hi, hope you're all doing well and having fun. I have nothing to show. Please be excited for the future." And that's it. And we've seen a couple of these in the past. Kojima Defcon 3.
They're at Defcon 3.
Is when he has a video again, but this time he's showing something. Now, this can be either a port or a new announcement, but usually not a big game, right?
See, well, this I think was where I came out. I was like, not game related. You know, this is just like, hey, here's a new partnership.
Yeah, not game related. Not new game related.
No, just hey, here's something I did with the fucking sunglass company, or hey, here's a cool like partnership that I'm doing with these guys that make jackets, or you know, whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's that level, I think, too.
Well, I would classify like Death Stranding director's cut as
That's what happened. We got something that's not a game.
Well, yeah, but I would say like Death Stranding director's cut is a Kojima Defcon 3.
I would say that's a 2.
No, okay.
I don't know, because it's not a new game.
Let's get allegorical here. How would you feel if he announced, like, in this modern day, he announced like Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, for example? Like,
that's Defcon 2, because that's like new game is
right.
one. Like, what else is there?
But
like,
you can't say that Subsistence is Defcon 2 when that's effectively a director's cut of Death Stranding, and then Death Stranding be a Defcon 3. You see what I'm saying?
That's not what I was saying. I was saying that 3 was like the podcast shit, or like the non-game related.
So,
then we have game related news.
Oh, I thought you were saying that.
No.
Okay, so Kojima Defcon 3 is no games. He just announces something not game related. So this was a Kojima Defcon 3. He had a podcast.
Yeah, that's what we hit.
Or what about his Xbox collaboration? I would say that's technically not a game, so that counts as a Defcon 3. That's a 3.
Yeah, because you're walking away disappointed. You know, we want a good 2 or a 1. You know, it's kind of
Go to Defcon 2.
So a Kojima Defcon 2 is he has a game announcement, but he's not there in person. So those are
all right. We've got different layers in here. We're coming up with new shit.
It's getting real granular.
No, this is what I said yesterday.
Okay.
We do have to get granular. I think we probably
this
need
is
to
why we
reduce
went
this
0.5. We went 0.5.
This is going from the DEFCON to like the old terrorist meter. It's like it's going to orange. Okay, now it's a red orange.
Kojima's minutes to midnight.
I was about to say, how many more minutes to midnight till new fucking game? He's there and he spikes the game on the floor and gives Jeff a big old hug.
Well, whether it's midnight or DEFCON 1 or the highest grade imaginable, it's when he shows up in person with a new thing.
Yeah.
A big new thing. That is the highest Kojima alert level. So sadly this was a 3.
Yeah.
Wait, why did we say it was a 3.5?
Because we had it just kind of, we had the numbers like mixed in. I think that was like where it was game related or not related. I think that's where we divided it right there.
DEFCON 0 is a remake of Metal Gear Solid or Silent Hill.
We were also counting up yesterday, so.
Yeah. We had this all wrong.
But yeah, so anyway, we all got our hypes up. We saw Kojima. We got disappointed. And we got excited because it's like, oh, podcast, cool. And then we went to listen to it. And oh my God, does it need work as it stands right now? But that's all I'll say.
And he destroyed this show's search engine optimization in one fell swoop.
Yeah, goodbye SEO. It's been nice. But
see, I can't I'm at the level of Lord Emmerich now where I'm just like, I don't expect anything from the Dorito Pope. I just expect him to smirk and say, hey, that fucking YouTube question at the beginning, are you guys ready for the surprises?
Yeah.
What surprises?
Yeah, I wasn't all that surprised.
A new fucking Pinocchio game.
Right?
Yo, that shit looks hype.
Yeah.
Lies of P.
Title is so bad. Forget about it. Like, go change the name of the game. But
just look up Pinocchio game. Don't let the title disappoint you.
I can't believe they called it Lies of P.
It's legit the best thing they showed, though.
Yeah, it does look really good. What about Moonbreakers as well? It looked alright.
What was that?
The miniatures game that everyone's going to draw dicks on.
Where you can paint them.
Yeah, everyone's going to paint penises on them.
Pretty much. The big takeaways from the show, I think Days is probably in alignment somewhat here with me, but the Expanse game, right?
Oh, that's Telltale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Drummer. Sorry, continue.
Lies of P and what was the third one?
There was something cool that I saw. I forget.
I guess the Callisto Protocol.
Yeah,
but
that
we've
looks
known
really
about that
good.
for ages.
It was a weird Gamescom for sure. Like I was
Yeah,
kind of
it
like,
was.
okay, like we basically just talked and bullshitted through the whole thing and just we had fun. If you missed the burst transmission, there's definitely a lot of good moments in that to check out. We almost got copyright striked, but we dodged it, I think.
Thanks, Lenny Kravitz.
That's another thing is that I'm not the type to like stifle. If a creative director wants to have a specific song in their music, like who am I to stop them? But on the same token, I think it's hilarious that like they offer all these resources to co-stream and they absolutely fuck you in terms of like, getting those like copyright strikes and things like that. At the very least, Jeff, like give us a little like blinker on the bottom right of the screen saying copyrighted music upcoming. Please mute your stream.
That's a really good idea.
That was the thing with that one clip. It was just like, all right, we're clear. The song stopped, and then like the monster was dead. It was sitting there, and then it was just like, mother, and just like kicked back in, and we were all just like panicking, like, oh god damn it, like
hit the mute button.
Yeah. So I don't know. Streamers definitely have like a weird thing to contest with watching these things. Like a lot of them just don't do it because they know they're like, oh no, it's just a claim fest over there, and it's like they definitely should kind of think about that with especially how they're doing the co-stream thing. Yeah, it's just it's silly to put something in there that would punish the people doing it. That being said, I don't know if people have gotten claims for those songs yesterday. I do know that one song I think is on like Guitar Hero, so that might not be in the bank that gets claimed or whatever, but yeah, we got 4 copyright claims.
I mean, I would like to be wrong. I would like to think that they, account for those type of things, but
when you think about the Metallica incident that happened, it's just like, oh, like when they were playing it live on Twitch and then got claimed, it's just like,
Aren't there games now that will intentionally like give you a streamer option that disables licensed music?
Yes,
and I love those.
Yeah, they need to do that for streaming events.
Yeah, I think Fortnite has it too, because there's all those songs in Fortnite that are just, just pop songs that they throw in a couple seconds of, while you're doing one of the dances or whatever. And it's just like, oh, that'll get you popped. But yeah, you can just disable that and it'll play some alternate royalty-free music instead. But yeah, I've seen it in a ton of games.
Fortnite is copyrights the game. It's ridiculous.
Final Fantasy 14 won't claim you if you are playing the game while playing the song.
Yeah.
But if you just upload the song, you get claimed.
Like the the raid music for the new raid is just fucking fantastic, and there's already people can't post the actual song, but if you make you turn off the sound effects for your raid, and you just display the gameplay, totally fine. You can't label it as boss theme for Pandemonium. You have to label it as boss theme for Pandemonium with Pandemonium gameplay. That's how Square operates.
With idle animation. Yeah.
Unless it's a funny meme of the twinning. That's apparently okay.
Yes, that is officially supported. I can't believe you got that reference.
It's hard to avoid. That video's everywhere.
Yes, that's true.
I saw the concert. It was amazing. I still haven't gotten to that part of the game.
The Dune's not going to have a meme nearly as good as the twinning. I don't even know why they're bothering.
That song slaps. That just... Jeez. MMO tracks shouldn't go that hard.
Dude, don't say that, because there are a fuck ton of tracks in this game that don't deserve to go hard, but they do.
Yeah, I'm probably going to learn about it eventually, one of these days, when I finally get through, the first expansion. Kind of an interesting news week.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about that whole thing with the streaming affecting the movies and stuff, the Matt Damon video that you'd retweeted, and just saying how like Steam and stuff, kind of all just doing the same kind of thing with different medias.
Yeah, somebody I made a comment online about it, and got a little pushback, and to be fair, I didn't really elaborate much on it, but so there's this clip going around where Matt Damon is on, was it Hot Ones? Is that the name of the show? Where they eat the hot wings?
Yes.
And the host asks him, why is it that movies are, so different nowadays than they used to be? And what he's really saying is like, why are they just a bunch of like vapid consumerist crap?
Yeah.
You know, that's, without saying it.
We talked about the part about like how they're not getting the DVD sales and all that part of it, but
Right.
yeah, it's just.
And well, somebody made the point that, because I said that I was talking to a friend and he mentioned how Steam sort of had a similar effect, and I tweeted that out. And somebody mentioned how a lot of people forget. There's a Xenogear Solid said people forget the game sales rarely happened, and if they did, it was usually $5 off. People went crazy for the Player's Choice Greatest Hits versions because we'd get them for $20, $40 or $20 years after release. But games nowadays are expected to be 70% off in about a year, right? So like the market is completely different. And so there's this impetus now to make games that get either all the profit as quickly as possible because there's little retention, or to try to monetize the game over time with like microtransactions and live services and things like that. And it's completely screwed up like the AAA space, and all of the interesting games now are indie.
Yeah, like right now I'm really struggling to find stuff to play. I mean, it's just like whittling down my GameFly queue. Like there's a couple of things coming up, but I think right now I've got like Live Alive checked out and slowly making my way through that on Switch. It's fun. But yeah, it's dwindling like what I like want to play. There's not much on my list anymore.
I'm getting to it a little late, but I started playing a game called Blasphemous. Have you heard of this? It's a side scroller Metroidvania, but it's...
I did play some of that. Never mind, I forgot. Is that on Game Pass? Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's tough.
And it's got like this blend of like Spanish culture, Roman Catholicism, and like it's sort of got like this underlying Souls-like ethos to it. And I realize how overused that term is, but it's pretty accurate in this case.
I think Geoff used it for a game
he did
yesterday, and it's like, oh wow, we're using this in a super official capacity now. Okay,
right. But it's also got some of the most amazing pixel art I have ever seen. It's got incredible music. The mechanics are just really tight. A couple of glitchy moments here and there, but it's a hell of a game. I just can't recommend it enough.
One thing about that Live Alive game is like I went back and looked at the Super Nintendo version of it. And that's a game that it came out in Japan and never got an official translation over here and stuff. But there's ROMs out there, we can check it out, and it's the pixel improvement on the art style. Like it looks great. They didn't go the blurry cell shaded thing. Like they just kind of redesigned everything and just really stuck that pixel look.
Yeah, they kind of Octopath Traveler'd it, didn't they?
Yeah, and they did that whole 2.5D thing where everything just kind of looks really cool.
I'm one of those weirdos who played the ROM hack with the English fan translation back in the day.
I think I tried it, but I got stuck.
Yeah, it's a weird game. I never got too far into it. I think I beat like two of the campaigns or two of the characters. But it's an interesting game, and I do think that they're doing a pretty good job with the visuals in the remaster, but at the same time, like I wish they would include a classic mode whenever they do stuff like this.
Yeah, where you can swap back and forth. Yeah,
because then it doesn't feel, when they don't retain that, it doesn't feel like preservation. It feels like we've lost something. And it's just me and preservation, so like that's one of those things that kind of grates on me.
I mean, that's something with Metal Gear. I see the application done with that, and I'm thinking about like the Metal Gear, 1 and 2, and I'm like, all right, that I could take, that would work, just like a slight pixel art update. I know that's a contentious thing with you, but I don't know, like that would be like the type of like remake or whatever for Metal Gear 1 and 2 Solid Snake. I would like that approach if we do something.
Let me put it like this. I mean, look, I have a lot of problems with remakes. They tend to strike me as very soulless, and they often miss the point, I feel. But I would be less hostile towards remakes if every video game remake included the original as an option, Like,
that'd be such
like
a
Medieval.
good faith action, wouldn't it?
Right. Yeah. Like I would be less angry about it because at least I would know, the original's still there. I've got access to it. Other people have access to it. Like Medieval did it in kind of a weird way where you can unlock the original game in the remaster / remake version. So I wish like Resident Evil 2 had done that. That would have been really cool.
There's been a few games that have done it.
Because currently there's no way to play that. Like if I have a conversation with somebody and I say, "Have you, what do you think of Resident Evil 2?" The presumption is I'm talking about the remake.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, every single time.
People don't say remake after?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've always like amended my RE2 with the make at the end when I talk about it.
I know. I always call it 2 make. If I talk about Resi 2, it's always like the original.
Oh.
And also, it's on PC, so.
Speaking
forever.
of PC releases, they just
Can you buy it?
They just put out the Mortal Kombat trilogy on PC on GOG. I need to get that. I'm so excited, even though I can't get past fucking stage 4 on Tower.
Can you play that online? Has it got online play?
That's a good question.
I would definitely be down to play some Trilogy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can buy Resident Evil 2 on PC. I'll sell it, yeah.
Like, not secondhand?
I don't think you can buy it from any retailer, but you could probably Google it and find a link for it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I just realized what Mortal Kombat y'all are talking about. Mortal Kombat Trilogy was probably the best one.
I think it's the best one.
Right.
In my opinion, it's the best one.
I got that game with my Nintendo 64. That Christmas I got Mortal Kombat Trilogy for it, and I was like, oh, I'm good on Mortal Kombat now. Like this is the perfect game. I've got everybody I need. Everything after that, I kind of checked out.
I played it in my local arcade recently, and I was like, yep, still bangs.
That's the roster, man. Oof. Good game.
I might have to pick that up later.
And it looks like you don't have to unlock everybody, so.
That was sick.
Nice. $7.99. Not bad.
Online play?
No online play. It doesn't look like.
Sure. Then you can do it with
It's gotta be like
I always forget what it's called, but someone always remembers. Yep.
that thing.
Yeah, Days, you buy it and get Parsec, and I'll play it.
Oh fuck. Who do you main?
Scorpion.
Oh, I'm a Katana main. Yeah, I'm a zoning dickbag in this game too. Sorry.
I only play low tiers in fighting games, so obviously I play Scorpion. Mortal Kombat.
I'm trying not to make an LTG joke right now. I'm trying so hard.
Before we get too far away from remakes, earlier today they showed a teaser trailer for something that was announced a while back. A remake of the original Fear Effect.
Yeah.
Wait, was that like an official remake?
Yeah, that's official. That is an official remake of the first game.
Oh, hell no. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought that was like some fan shit. No.
Yeah. It looks so bad. Like everything interesting about that game was just sucked out of it.
Yeah.
When I saw the over the shoulder, I was like, no. They've massacred
they turned it
my
into
girls.
like the most bog standard third-person shooter ever.
Like I really don't even remember much about that game, but I remember it being interesting and like just I don't know, it was really like novel and was it QTEs and stuff or just mainly like kind of like an adventure game with some I barely remember it, but I just remember
it's like
being
adventure
cool, like
puzzle with like a lot of adult elements. There's a puzzle in the middle of the game where you're stepping out of the shower and somebody's aiming a gun at you, and to solve the puzzle you take the towel off to distract him.
Yeah, I definitely remember it being that game that like it was definitely a big deal kind of for parents and stuff at that time. I was like, oh boy, this game's a little mature. It
did a lot of interesting stuff at the time that just sort of stood out. I mean, story-wise, it sort of takes this, sort of underbelly crime story and marries it to mythology, and it starts to get really psychological as you progress. But one of the cool things that they did that really made it stand out was that all of the so the original plays like kind of like an old Resident Evil title with the tank controls and the fixed camera angles.
Mhm.
But those fixed camera angles, rather than just having static backgrounds, they're all full motion video. That's why the game is kind of short, but it still spans 4 discs because they've got tons of FMVs on the thing.
Yeah, I do remember
So, like-
it being 4 disc. Yeah.
Yeah, so like every background's a video.
And it contrasts super well with like the cell shading style.
Yeah. So it's got like a really unique style. It does the same sort of cell shading trick as Mega Man Legends, where it's not quite cell shading, like it's not doing any sort of like dynamic lighting that you'd see once like PS2 and Dreamcast came in.
Mhm.
So it's all flat with baked in lighting, but it looks so good, you know?
Yeah, that game was stylized as hell. I definitely remember that about it.
And this new one, they're just like, hey, we made a cover shooter and cell shaded it. It looks like Borderlands.
Yeah, talk about soulless. Like, yeah, that's a great example of like, all right, well, I don't know if these guys played the original or what they're. I mean, I guess they're trying to modernize it, but I mean, look at all the games that still are that like walk around, do the puzzle, do the thing. You know, that's the Until Dawn formula now. Like, do that shit.
Dude, there was this sort of old school Resident Evil style quasi fixed camera game. It was an indie game that came out a while back called Tormented Souls. Have you played this?
I remember it. I never played it.
And you know, it's got a lot of issues, but it's very earnest, and it tries to evoke those old styles in an accurate way. And I would play that any day before a lot of these newer modernized games. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I miss those old challenges. I miss you being able to sort of stop and smell the roses instead of being rushed through everything and listening to the characters, throw like Joss Whedon style dialogue back and forth off of each other as we're walking from one set piece to another. Like, man, I'm so sick of those kind of games.
Yeah, and there was that Rick and Morty game too. It's like, oh boy, Rick and Morty, and then like they start talking and you hear the voices constantly. It's like, oh god, we were talking about. It's like that used to be like a thing in like Borderlands as like a punishment to have a weapon that constantly talked.
But you look how shootable I look.
I am not shooting a kid.
Go ahead, do it. Shoot me, fresh meat. Shoot me. See what happens. Oh, don't I look so shootable? Ah, you shot me. I'm dead.
All right, there. Are you happy now?
But here's a whole game with it. Yeah, someone made a tweet. It's just like all these games are trying to do humor and they're doing it poorly. You know, it's like stop. You don't have to be funny all the time. Just make a game.
A lot of games have done this thing now where I guess they feel like they have to fill the silence with something.
Mm-hmm.
And so your characters are constantly saying stuff and they never shut up for like more than 5 seconds.
I was going to say, going to the Joss Whedon dialogue, I've noticed on the internet there is starting to become a pushback between, like, for instance, if Better Call Saul was written like a Marvel movie, or like if The Godfather came out in 2007. So maybe those, like, self-aware action tropes from, like, the 2000s to now, maybe we're seeing the death throes of those.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Maybe not, like, we won't get it permanently removed, but it's not going to be like the cool thing anymore. If it was still the cool thing,
I don't know if it's been the cool thing for a while, but at the very least, we as the people who buy this stuff know it's not the cool thing, but the people making it haven't quite got the memo.
Yeah,
as was apparent from that one trailer for what was it? The Square Enix action RPG that's coming out.
Yeah, which I mean, yeah, that game looked really cool, like the gameplay and all that.
The bouncer. I like the bouncer. Okay, I'm gonna.
I
that's my guilty pleasure.
Love the bouncer. The bouncer fucking crawled in dog shit so that the Kingdom Hearts could fly. Like, that's my hot take for the episode.
Plus, I mean, come on, the guy's name is Sion Barzad.
Sion Barzad, the proto Zora, in my opinion.
Yep. Jeez. Well, like, funny enough, Final Fantasy VII had this problem a lot with the dialogue. Just they constantly talk nonstop, and sometimes it's okay because it is like giving you information about things. But during the battle, segments, they'll just repeat the same things over and over and over and over, and it's just obnoxious. And every game does this now. Thankfully, Death Stranding sort of toned that down and knew to kind of keep Sam quiet for the most part, because that game's all about sort of like, quiet moments and getting into a groove.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully, he's not just chatterboxing it the whole time.
Yes, it's credit to credit where credit is due. In the age of self-aware cringe, Kojima does self-aware pretty well.
Yes.
I don't know where he was at on that beach line, but
I mean, God, that's an episode in itself, man. I don't even know where to begin with that one. Was it a joke? Was it not a joke? It was in a superposition of joke and not a joke.
Did Nintendo pay him?
Oh, you're talking about the Princess Beach.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the line when you call out during the beach segment and he's like, "Is this thing unfinished?"
Yeah.
That was funny as hell.
That's great.
I laughed my butt off when he yelled that. That was great. Just getting stuck there with the credits rolling. Just, man.
I always heard the story that Kojima wanted to make that like a lot longer.
Oh, God.
And then on the note about just staying in the same fucking place for hours, I know that DRK is doing a chicken run of MGS4, and his stream was just Snake sleeping on a bed for like hours.
That's awesome.
And he made money from it. So you know what? Good for him. Shout out to OHN.
Snake sleeping ASMR stream.
Also helped me set up MGO2 online for PC, so...
Yeah, that's something I got to get back into. They've had tons of updates lately, and that game runs really smooth emulated now.
Yes.
I can't believe how they got the custom maps to work, the new ones.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, they're using pre-existing map data from the game, but just the fact that they were able to do it at all is amazing. They practically made an entirely new expansion for the game. So they've got like I know Lethal Leviathan was one of the levels, and that was it was on Outer Haven, and that was a map that was actually on Metal Gear Arcade, but never made it to MGO. And I can't recall the other two, but they were like, but one of them is the mansion from Act 2, where the PMCs are fighting the militia, and there's like that whole battle going around as you're kind of working your way to Laughing Octopus. So like that area is now a map, and that was entirely the Save MGO guys. That wasn't in Metal Gear Arcade to my knowledge or anything like that. They were just like, hey, this would make a great level, and
just
I haven't tried it yet, but yeah, they just it looks like it works great. I mean, it's structured like a great multiplayer map. And then the third one I think was the other area in the desert or in the Middle East, where you start off like right after where you get the Mark II, that area. They made that a map, and that was another one that was in Metal Gear Arcade, if I remember right. Could be misremembering that, but the fact that they did this is incredible.
We all need to get up in there.
Going back to in the age of line, in the age of shitty preservation practices, like Save MGO2 PC is a bright hope.
I guess they merged with the like there were two teams kind of doing their own thing. There was the MGO2 PC team and the Save MGO team, and I guess they merged, and now they're the same thing.
That's a good question. I like literally DRK explained this to me the other day, and I completely forgot. But if I remember, there was some modicum of like consolidation there.
Yeah, it was probably a good idea. Just get all their resources together and hit this thing hard. I am just thrilled that this game has life at all, I still don't like some of the changes they did where they're like, replacing gear rather than adding it, like putting in Mets hats to replace existing hats, and like that's kind of irritating, but like overall they've I think they've done a pretty great job.
Tom Olsen appreciates the Mets hats though, so
Oh, I'm not going to talk about him for a while. He needs to rest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There was also that VR it's a Boneworks mod.
Yeah.
We've got I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Holyd. It's HOLYDH, and then Vapor Cephalopod's working on it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked pretty rad. being able to move all around, get all nimbly bimbly on Shadow Moses in VR. It seemed pretty cool.
Yeah, I would try out VR Shadow Moses. That looks like a lot of fun. I've kept I've kept one eye on it, just trying to watch it from the side to see what's going on. I know Vapor Cephalopod has been working on trying to remake Metal Gear Solid in the Unreal Engine using a lot of the extracted game assets, and I know there's some crossover with the Boneworks mod there. I'm not exactly sure what the distinction between the two is and what the relationship is. They might just be sort of pulling from the same resource pool. But I do think they're different projects. I could be wrong on that, but
they're trying to get away from the Boneworks thing so it can be a standalone thing, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so like build the VR into Unreal then and not make it reliant on it's not a mod, it's its own standalone thing, right?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, it's I've, like I said, I haven't quite wrapped my head around what it is they're doing. It's kind of funny. I did talk to Vapor Cephalopod a few times in the past, and I'm a little worried he thinks I don't like him, or I might have accidentally slighted him, and that was not my intention.
Nah.
He sort of showed me what he was doing and brought up the idea of like joining his remake project team a while back, and I turned it down. I just have got too much on my plate and too many.
You're swamped with projects, dude. Like, yeah,
dude,
you really are.
I barely see my kids, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do another thing, dude. And it's just not something that is really in my wheelhouse,
Mm-hmm. And you're getting around in MGS2 with the Fat Man mods and stuff. But yeah, I can see how that's completely different from, just different games and stuff. Like you kind of get into one, you're like, okay, I see what's going on in this game. And then, let's go back to another console generation and see what they're doing here. It's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's like my ADHD hyperfixation is just taking me from project to project to project, and I gotta stop. But after that, I think he and I had a back and forth on Twitter a while back about remakes, and like it's not a mystery that I am not a fan of remakes, and he is working on a remake.
Yeah.
And it may have come off as like me dunking on his project, and like that's not what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
So
it's just two people looking
Vapor,
at something differently, and just being like, well, here's the thing that I don't like of this. Is like, well, I happen to be doing something very similar to the thing that you're talking a bunch of shit about. So yeah, no, that can happen. Yeah, you just kind of like, all right, well.
Yeah, when I'm talking about remakes, I'm talking about it in a very cynical corporate sense. Like fan projects, I think fan projects are great. I may not want to personally get involved with one, but I love that it's even an option that fans can do stuff like this, and I hate it when they get struck down.
I think the one thing that you'll see a whole lot more on the fan side is the thing that the other corporate ones are lacking is the soul to it all. I mean, these are all fans that really give a shit about, getting it right or like, doing it justice and stuff.
It's tricky, and that's a long conversation. Like that's kind of a podcast episode in itself, is getting into the nuance of what gives a piece of media or creative work its spirit, and when you make slight alterations to it, you are making alterations to the spirit.
That was a major caveat that I got from your whole like Twitter thread about remakes, and just like, hey, I felt like it was, hey, just a reminder, this is why I don't like remakes, and it's because we're compromising the essence for like potential like commercial value.
That bingo! Wow, holy crap! You said what I was trying to say in a single sentence.
Oh, cool!
Nail on the head. You got it. That was exactly it.
They Woodstock 99'd it pretty much, yeah. They're just like, just watch that documentary.
But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, Vapor, if you're listening to this, I really was not trying to like insult your project or anything, or you. So I hope that clears it up, because I really didn't intend that. So.
Yeah, there hasn't been much VR stuff that's been out there. I'm like, hey, I kind of would think about getting a VR set for that, but like that's actually one that I'd be like, all right, shit, yeah.
I mean, I'd try it, yeah.
As someone who already owns a VR headset, I do want to fuck around with that Red Letter Media session thing. That's cool.
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna get a PSVR too, and I'm hoping there'll be like a PC mod for it at some point.
The only thing I've done in VR is play a Walking Dead game that was like first person where you could just go around and like stab them in the eyeball and like wiggle it around and shit. And then I experienced a nuke going off in front of me, which was fucking terrifying. So yeah,
Dude, we're gonna have to set you up with some VR stuff to get you in, because there's a lot of cool stuff, man. I'll tell you, Resident Evil 7 in VR was a blast.
Fuck that.
it was cool in that Walking Dead game. You could throw the knife in the air and let it spin a few times and then catch it and then like jam it into the dude's head. It was like,
Dude.
whoa, this is pretty sweet.
I would also like to try Alien Isolation in VR at some point.
Ooh,
I know
yeah.
there's like a fan mod. They were gonna make it official, but they never got around to it. So fans sort of dug out what was there and tried to finish it up. And I hear it's absolutely terrifying. So that's on my list. But yeah, there's a lot of cool VR stuff that's worth trying. We'll have to make you a list.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out Vaporcephalopod, shout out Holid. Give that a try on the pronunciation.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, we all think that's cool shit, and we'll be looking forward to what
and
you do.
Keep your heads down.
Boss, get down.
There are some litigious folks out there.
Keep cool, or you will lose.
Yeah. May the C&D gods be in your favor.
Boss, get down.
Enemy copyright suit.
Yeah. They had that scare that happened with the fake one. Nice marketing, Vapor.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Jeez.
Enough! What do you think you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, regarding Kojima, he has been. It kind of did suck at the end of the Gamescom when all we got was the podcast, because it did seem like he was working on some type of presentation. Maybe it was just that video of him saying, "I'm doing a podcast," but I don't know.
Yeah, it was the trailer for I was about to call it Burst Transmission.
Yeah.
We have enough things named that.
Get him.
Yeah. What is it? Brain structure?
Brain structure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like a Spotify sponsored show.
Yeah, it's
too,
a Spotify original. Yeah, like they signed some deal.
which is how he got ahead of us in the search results for Kojima podcast on Spotify.
Yeah.
Look, I'm happy. I'm just saying I'm happy if we're second.
Yeah. We'll get some runoff from
Yeah.
that.
Because that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this isn't really something any of us should be angry about.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I'm not really angry.
it's kind of cool just knowing we've got better audio quality at the end of the day. So
Yeah, I hope that wasn't really indicative of the final one, because that was hard to listen to.
yeah, I really hope that was a rushed teaser or something. Yeah, because I literally will not be listening to it if it sounds like that. It's like it scratches the ear, and it's just very 2K heavy, very 4K heavy, 5K heavy. It's like that thing needs some EQ loving for sure.
It's overproduced.
Yeah, and it sounds like crispy, like to the point of like
Yeah.
being over fried. Like, yeah, it's like those memes that are deep fried. It's just like, oh, you ran it through the filters too many times, buddy.
We take a deep dive into his brain.
The source of my ideas.
I've got to wonder, though, since they're doing like an English and a Japanese one. Well, really, I've got two questions. One, what's happening to his current Japanese show? What is it? Hideo Kojima's Radioverse, I think is what it was called. The one we didn't get in the US.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So I'm curious if that's still going to be going, or if that's going to be replaced by this. And two, given that this is going to be in both Japanese and English, I would presume that Kojima would not be talking on the English version. You know, it would be dubbed over or hosted by someone else?
I think it was dubbed over in the little sample clip. I really didn't listen long enough to really remember. I just like heard it and my ears were like, bail, bail.
Yeah. So is this just going to be like a solo thing where he talks for a bit on his own and then maybe he has a guest on? Like, I guess what's sort of, you know, painting my mental impression of this is all of those episodes of like the Kojima Productions report, the KP report, you know, that Ryan Payton and Sean Eystone, Aki Saito, Kenny Maizumi, all those guys did for so long. You know, they sort of, you know, invented the wheel on Kojima podcasts. And so I don't know. I guess this might not be quite the same sort of thing that those were.
I mean, the Spotify like official article says Hideo Kojima presents brain structure will unravel the genius mind of the video game creator. So
Yeah, I'm curious.
I don't know exactly how they're going to be going about that, but it's maybe his creative process, things that inspire him. Here's a quote that says, "I wanted to share my thoughts with a global audience and felt that Spotify would be the best home to reach all of my fans and friends around the world. It's an ambitious approach to release every episode in both Japanese and English at the same time, but I look forward to having a good time getting and sharing creative inspiration with listeners from all over the world."
So at the very least, yeah, he is going to be doing the Japanese one. So then presumably someone's going to be reading the English.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to be very like the structure of the creative gene, where he's like, this is the shit that influenced me this week, and we're going to talk about it like a book club almost, but with different mediums.
I'm kind of okay with that. I mean,
yeah,
I do miss the way the Kojima Productions report used to do it, where, there was a bit of that, but they would also talk about what was actually going on in the company and some of the culture there. And so I would love to hear what it's like at the company more, And I realize there's not so much that they can only say so much when, they're so secretive about what they're working on, but that didn't stop them before.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much just shows us like what movies he watches with the devs after work now, and that's about all we get to see, really.
Yeah, they've got a little theater that they've set up in the corner. I'm curious when they're going to show off the new office design and how different that'll be. It looks a lot bigger.
Oh, here we go. I found the thing. It says fans can tune in for talk show style discussions on a wide range of his favorite topics, including games, movies, books, art, philosophy, and the social landscape.
Did he steal our bit?
Pretty much.
Yeah, darn it. Who does this Kojima guy think he is?
Oh, he's having guests on too? Yeah, we totally thought
Man.
about guests too. Jerk.
Yeah, I know. It's not an original idea in this show.
If they're using microphones, I'm going to be so mad.
Right? You do have to wonder, though, if now that he's sort of stepping into the Spotify realm, if he's looking at some of the other content that's on there in the podcast space about, his work.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're not at least somewhat aware of our show or any of the others that are currently going on. Like, they have to have seen some of the 6 or 7 shows that are going on right now.
If you're listening, hello.
Hi. I said hello.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, bitch. So you're just going to bring me a podcast to my birthday on my birthday podcast?